Well, I tried to do the right thing and they eliminated my job.
Scott Smith says his 35-year career as a public sector economist was ruined over gas prices. For the last 5 years, he's been the state's top economist in forecasting pricing at the pump. It was his job to mathematically predict how much revenue the state should expect to make on gas taxes and fees. But after nearly 4 decades of service in the field, Scott says his latest calculations for the Washington State Department of Transportation ticked off state leaders, and he says he felt forced to resign.
I've been damaged. I'm 64 years old. I've got nowhere to go. They left me no other choice.
When a new state policy to fight carbon emissions and climate change went into effect early this year, that's when the trouble started for The Economist. The policy is called the Cap and Trade Program, where the state's biggest polluters must pay for their carbon footprints. Then the state uses the money on things like subsidizing solar energy and getting more electric cars and buses on the road. State leaders told the public not to worry. Cap and trade wouldn't mean higher prices at your favorite gas station.
I don't think anybody is going to sit there on January 1st and say, price just went up a bunch. It must be those new carbon regulations Ecology put in place. I really don't think it's going to be noticeable.
So all in all, over time, we don't think there'll be a big impact on prices at the pump or customer prices.
And as prices went up, government officials pointed to other reasons for the hikes.
Look at the profits they have made on our backs in the last couple of years.
This summer, Governor Inslee held a press conference blaming the increases not on state policy, but on the greed of big oil.
The very industries that are causing this massive pollution are today gouging us in their oil and gas prices.
Well, that just flies in the face of reality. It's really sixth grade math.
Scott Smith's analysis found cap and trade would create a noticeable hike on gas prices. His estimate, 45 to 50 cents a gallon. In a legal complaint filed today against WashDOT and the governor's office, he alleges his boss told him to keep that quiet. Management would prefer he not include cap and trade surcharges in his quarterly report.
I wouldn't do it because it just wasn't right. I've never had anyone tell me to jimmy the numbers, to come up with some artificial number. Never.
Smith put the predicted increases in his report anyway, and his complaint alleges the retaliation was swift and ugly from there, including his duties were scaled down or eliminated. WashDOT tried to change and backdate his employee evaluation. His boss refused to let him visit his elderly mother over the Thanksgiving holiday.
So it was those types of games that are ridiculous, that are unprofessional, and that I think frankly hurt this guy's soul. He's a brilliant economist, and then to be treated this way, he had had enough.
Jackson Maynard is Scott Smith's attorney.
The message to the state of Washington is that you cannot bully state employees. You cannot force them to lie to support a political narrative for powerful people.
Smith says telling citizens and policymakers the truth was his job, and that state law and his conscience wouldn't allow him to operate any other way.
I was obligated as part of my duties to produce forecasts of fuel. So I had nowhere to escape, nowhere to hide. And I had to, I guess for lack of a better term, walk the plank.
Tonight, WashDOT and the governor's office tell me they take all whistleblower complaints seriously, and that there will be an internal investigation to see if the Economist's allegations can be substantiated. For his part, Scott Smith is asking for $750,000 in damages. In the newsroom, Susanna Frame, King 5 News.